I'll explain that picture in a minute. The better covenant. Now, if Patrick were here, I'd give him credit. But since he's not, I won't give him credit for this. Because he asked me a question one day involving this handing of the shoe. And I'll tell you that next time. In Exodus 3, verse number 5, when Moses had finally, after 40 years, wandering behind these sheep in that wilderness, he's 80 years old now, and he's ready to, quit. Named his son, God has divorced me. He's not got the greatest attitude, but he turns aside to see this burning bush, and when he gets near the bush, a voice comes out and says, "Do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground." And so in that moment, God made his introduction to Moses, and a few days later, after fasting for 40 days, God gives him the law. Next page. He goes up on Mount Sinai, and God, with his own finger, writes these in the stone, according to Cecil B. DeMille, and we know that's got to be accurate. But here's what he says: "You'll have no other gods before me. You'll worship no graven images. You'll not use my name in vain. You'll keep the Sabbath holy. Honor your mother and your father. You don't kill. You don't commit adultery. And you don't steal. You don't bear false witness against your neighbor. And you don't covet." He said, here's the 10 things that if you want to have a relationship with me, you got to do it. Because if you break one of these, if you don't do this, then you've committed sin. And because of that, it's unforgivable. We can only roll it forward. If you'll offer an animal sacrifice, I can borrow judgment from you. But your condition will never change.
Okay.
And that was given in that moment. Suddenly, man realized, wait a minute. This is not a good deal. How do we live? Next thing. 40 years later, after they've gone through the wilderness, circling the mountain, and Joshua and Caleb, the only one to survive, the lot falls on Joshua to now lead Israel. And it said that in the night, the captain of the host came to see him. Now this is interesting to me. And of course, I told you last week that Joshua went down the mountain to worship, and this messenger let him do so. And he said he's the captain of the host. So I know this is pre-incarnate Jesus. Jesus, before he was ever born, came to visit with Joshua. Now watch this, next page. Then the commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, "Take your sandal off your foot to the place where you stand is holy." Why did he do that? Because this is not a new covenant. Back in those days, if you took off your shoe, it was a continuation of the deal we already have in place.
Okay, good.
In other words, God was telling Joshua, nothing's changed. Just because Moses is gone, the same things that would make you holy before are still in place. This is still the same covenant.
Okay.
Okay? Next page. 1,500 years passed. Let me read my note. The act of removing one shoe symbolized that the deal currently in place would continue. As God had been with Moses, he was now with Joshua. The law was implemented with all the feast days, laws, and sacrifices, all of which were necessary to roll back the judgment against sin so they could live to fight another day. Let me tell you something. They didn't just scoff at these things. They knew if we don't do this right.
Yeah.
The high priest, when he'd go back to offer a sacrifice between the veil that was so that thick, they put a rope on his waist and bells on his rope, because if he had committed sin and not washed himself, when he went into the presence of God, would strike him dead, they'd hear the bells and they'd drag his dead body out. This is not something they played at. The presence of God was not something to roll their eyes at.
Okay.
As it has become today. Next one. Galatians 3:24 says, "Therefore the law was our schoolmaster."
Okay.
What God gave Moses was to teach us something.
Okay.
It had a purpose, not to condemn us, to show us something.
Okay.
That when they tried to build that Tower of Babel and tried to get up to God on their own, it wouldn't work. It never get to them. Because no matter how high you get, you still came from the earth.
Yeah. Right.
Because it had been fallen, all men had fallen. You know with me so far?
Yeah.
It was our schoolmaster to bring us to Christ that we might be justified by faith. Next page. So it was an epic fail in a way. The law given to us did not work. It did not make us righteous. It actually condemned us. But it's like if you're driving on a highway and there's no speed limit, they can't give you a ticket.
Right.
But when they post the speed limit, now there's a law in place that tells you what you're doing is wrong.
Okay.
And you're accountable to that law. Well, before the law came, there wasn't anything really telling us. But when the law came, now we're all accountable. Now we're all judged, and we're guilty of that law. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to die without him if we don't do something, right? Next time.
Right.
The old covenant was doomed to fail because it was a contract. What's this? Between God and man. We are pre-programmed to fail. We had sin already in us. It lived in us since birth. No matter what we tried, we could not make ourselves holy. That plan was doomed to fail because God was trying to make a covenant with an unregenerated man. That was the old covenant. Next page. 1,500 years passed. Offering animal sacrifices. Having feast days. You know, all these things they do, sacrifice animals, everything they do in the Jewish culture, and I don't know all of it, but I'm just telling you, there was something going on all the time. And unfortunately, in those days, it did become kind of ritualistic because by the time we get to Jerusalem, because by the time we get to the day that we pass celebrate Passover, when Jesus is here, nobody had really realized what it was except a few people, like Anna and Simeon. When they saw that baby, they said, "I finally seen our Redeemer." Only a few people knew who he was. Yeah. There's 12 guys sitting in a room, and he said, "Go make the room ready for Passover." And they look, and all of a sudden they're looking, there's no lamb on the table. Because what they're supposed to do is eat a lamb and roast it, select a lamb without spot of blemish, and roast it with fire, and send it over bitter herbs and stuff, and eat it all night. Don't let any of it be done, left till morning. And so they get there for the Passover, and the lamb is in the room. So they're all mad at each other. Somebody dropped the ball, and Jesus comes in and sits down and takes a piece of bread and he rips it in half. Yeah. Said, "This is my body, which is broken for you. Yes. You eat this. You let it become one with you. You don't just study the bread. Right. You don't get a doctorate on what bread, how you make bread. You eat the bread. You become one with the bread."
Good.
Next page. Romans 8:1. This is the law he gave us. This is the declaration that Paul's trying to tell the Roman Jews. So there's therefore now no condemnation. Everybody say no condemnation. Say it like you want it.
No condemnation.
Yes.
None.
That's right.
If you're being condemned, it isn't God at all.
Okay.
That's right.
And the sooner we learn that, and the sooner we start battling what's supposed to be battled, and not receiving it, and letting live in our life, and just absolutely crush us to death, we need to realize that ain't God, because that's not my covenant anymore.
Yeah.
My covenant. That's good.
There's no condemnation of those who are in Christ Jesus. We do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has made me free. Yes. From the law of sin and death. What the law could, say it with me, could not do. Why? Because he was weak in the flesh. Because God was making a covenant with a fleshly man. There's no way that can happen. You can't mix oil and water. You can't mix unrighteousness and unrighteousness. You can't mix light and dark. It was doomed to fail, but the reason it was doomed to fail was it to teach us. We'll never get there on our own. I don't care if you don't drink caffeine. I don't care if you keep the Sabbath holy. All the stuff you're doing couldn't get you there.
Right.
It's just religion.
That's it. Amen.
That may be good for you not to drink caffeine, but it's not getting you to heaven.
Right. Come on.
You can drink Coke Zero all you want. You're going to bust hell wide open. Burping on the way. And that it was weak in the flesh, God did by sending his own son. Next page. My wife rolls her eyes. Matthew 5:17.
Big old one.
Why is this important? Why did they want to kill Jesus? Why did the Pharisees want to kill Jesus? Because he stood up and he said this. Do not think that I came to destroy the law and the prophets. I didn't come to destroy them. I came to fulfill them.
That's right.
Everything that God tried to do with Moses, that was passed through Joshua and 1,500 years, God says, you know what? I'm going to do that through Jesus so that none of you dare even try anymore because you aren't qualified. You aren't equipped. You'll never get there because you were born in sin. You will die in sin. So I'm going to send one who's never known sin. And those 10 things that he gave us were fulfilled in Jesus. Yes. Say fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
You know what fulfilled means? we don't need to do it anymore. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you to go out and start committing adultery or whatever. I'm just trying to tell you that the condemnation that comes for not being perfect, the condemnation that comes that you start listening to the opinions of everybody around you, it begins to shape and mold you. You start worrying about what people think and how you should live. God sent His Son so that we might be set free from all of it. But the greatest gift He could give you is that you get to be you. You. Not a copy of somebody else. You.
Yes. Amen.
Next page. He went on to say, let me some more. He said 1 Corinthians 15:45. He's referring to Jesus. He said the first man, Adam, became a living being, but the last Adam, what does that mean? There was the first Adam, he was formed in the Garden of Eden. And he had a chance to do what God said, and he didn't do it. And because he failed, because he sinned, death came on all men. And ever since all men were in Adam, every one of us were born in this life.
Get out of the bloodline.
But He's going to give us another Adam. He's going to give us another lane. He died in this lane first through Mary. So it qualified Him to be down here. But then He said at the cross,
Yes, He did.
I'm starting a new lane. I'm the new Adam. This is the new covenant. This is the new beginning. You want to go that way, you can. But if you'll get over here in my lane, I've already done it all for you.
That's why we
Next page. He went on to say, Colossians 1:18, you saw I was pulling this out of my hat. He said, He is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning. Watch this. The firstborn from the dead. Why did they say that? Now, this is controversial, what I'm about to tell you. Because if you go to most traditional churches, they'll just like, their eyes will just pop out their head. Jesus, if He's our example, if He's the last Adam, then He's got to do everything that we're required to do. That's why He got baptized. Why did Jesus need to be baptized? What purpose did that serve? Except to show us, this is what I want you to do. He went to hell, and He paid the penalty for our sin. Then He was raised from the dead. Well, what happened in between those two? The raising from the dead, listen to me. Jesus was literally born again in heaven. That's the only way it works. He was born. He took on our nature. He took on our sin. He paid a penalty. And in the bowels of hell, when the Father said, I'm satisfied. And He said, that throne of God is forever. Something happened, and He was born again. That's when He came out of hell. Being captivity captive.
Amen.
And you know that's it. And somehow we've lost that. And we've gotten over here into what we're doing now. There's no life in it. Because there's no victory in it. Because everybody's under some condemnation of some sort. And I'm saying if we get so free that we start skipping around and acting like we just can't get any happier and still stay on the earth, maybe somebody wants something we got, right?
Yeah.
Next page.
That's good.
Romans 8:29 says, for whom He foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son. What He knew about us in the beginning, He said, I'm going to send my Son, and I want you to be conformed. I want you to be metamorphosized. I don't want you to be, just trying to get that square peg in a round hole. I'm going to tell you right now, you're coming to me as a caterpillar, but you're going to be a butterfly when you leave.
Yeah.
To the image of His Son that He ought to do what? Jesus was the firstborn among what? We can't, our head can't hold that. Jesus is my elder brother. I am joint heir with Him. Whatever He owns, whatever power He has, I have been birthed. I've been deeded that by His blood. I've got the same access. I was praying the other day and I said, Lord, I know if you were here. And I'm thinking, why would I say something stupid like that? You are here. Because I'm here. Because you're in me. Because we're one.
Yes. Amen.
And Pastor Charley didn't say He was Lord Himself. Okay? Stop that right now. But it's not, that's what Jesus said. He said He didn't think it was robbery to make Himself equal with God. But He humbled Himself. Why did he do that? Because we'll never get to him. So he came to us.
Right.
Not to leave us here, to get us so we can go back with him.
Yes.
One day I was got on a chat room, this is 20 years ago. And somehow, it was a Christian chat room, and there's always one guy that gets on there and wants to argue stuff. Like his code name is Satan 666 or something like that. Ooh, scary. And he said, how come, if you believe the universe was made, and like the Bible says, and the earth is only about 10,000 years old, how do you explain those stars that are so far away that their light hadn't even had time to reach us yet? And I got a little stumped. So I started praying, and the Lord reminded me. What's the first thing he said? Let there be light. He sent the light first to where the star would be. Okay, and when I got on there and did that, he logged off.
Still goes. Yeah.
Well, I asked the Lord, why is it that the universe is so vast? And I'm sitting on my back porch, I'm looking at Saturn, I'm looking at Jupiter. Jupiter's nearly 1 billion miles away. 1 billion!
Wow.
It takes like 20 minutes, or 5 minutes, 5 to 20 minutes, I can't remember, to get just from there to here. Mars is just 9 months. If we went in a spaceship right now, it'd take us 9 months to get to our nearest neighbor. Wow. And it's so spread out. I said, Lord, why is it like that? And he said, I want you to know that you'll never get to me, but I'm going to get to you.
Amen.
This huge universe, and it blows my mind. It was made by this infinite God that seems so far away, yet he sent the image of himself to us. And he said, you're going to be like me, and we're going to all go together. Let's page. Hebrews 8:6, but now he has obtained a more excellent ministry, inasmuch as he is also the mediator of a better covenant, which was established on better promises. Now, I want to tell you something. I didn't get this till this week. God didn't make a covenant with me. He made a covenant with Jesus.
Right. Amen.
The covenant with man just doesn't work.
Right.
So he just went ahead and made it with Jesus.
Right.
Because Jesus never fails. Jesus will never let us down. We'll never be out of covenant with him unless we just let go of Jesus and deny him. So all this stuff that you've been riding yourself and everybody's been riding you about doing it, and that you're not good enough at, or not doing a good enough job at, or you're not as pretty as this, or as strong as this, or as talented as this, then you need to let all that stuff go and say, you know what, he made me in the image of his dear son. And I'm all right with him. Next page. What are these better promises? Jesus, Hebrews 2:9 says, we see Jesus who was made a little lower than God. In the King James Bible, it says angels. Right. But that's not the right word. That's right. The guys that were translating it just didn't have the guts to write what it said. The word is Elohim. That's it. It's God. So he made him a little lower than God for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, Jesus, by the grace of God, might taste death once for everybody. What does that mean? That now that I know him, I will never, ever die. My body may give out, but I don't have to go through death. I'll just be absent from the body, present with the Lord. If it's my time to go, I'll just have that body standing up there with me. I'll blink my eyes and go, what happened? He said, well, your body gave out. Welcome home. Come on. That's a better promise, I think. All right, next. Isaiah 53 said that we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Why am I harping on this? It's because it's like I watch Christians every day, and we just have the most defeated lifestyle.
Come on.
We have religion, we break the Bible, but we're not living in victory.
Come on.
We're afraid just like everybody else. We're burdened with sin just like everybody else. And I want you to get the revelation that whoever I was died with him at Calvary. And when he kicked that stone open, I walked out with him. When he sat down in glory, he sat down in me. Yes. I can't talk about Jesus without talking about me. Because we're one. Right? It's hard to swallow, I get it, but you know, if you're spending time with him, he'll be going, attaboy. That's what he's saying. I'm tired of hearing all the other mess coming out of your mouth. I can't agree with that.
Right.
But it's two who shall agree as touching. We'll just say this. Come on, man.
That's it.
Next page. Almost done. Why is it this is a better covenant? I'm just telling you ahead of time. Next page. God didn't make the new covenant with mankind. Watch this. He made it with his son. And therefore he made it with himself.
Yes.
How can he break a covenant with himself? Does that give you any peace of knowing that, you know, I'm not graded every day with a gold star or a black star, that somebody's got up there checking off everything I do wrong, give me a little credit here, but it wipes that out every time I make a mistake. I'm not doing it. I'm just clinging to the one who has the covenant. I'm riding him all the way home.
Yes. Amen.
Yes, I'm imperfect. But I'm knitted to, fashioned into the one who isn't. This way. Why is that's why this verse makes sense to me, kid. 2 Timothy 2:13, then we're going to do a confession. Okay? It says, if we can't believe, he remains faithful. Because he cannot deny himself.
That's right.
See, in the 80s, you had this big talk about faith and word of faith and all. It's like, you know what? I don't have to do all that because I'm hanging on to the one that's got all the faith I need. And even when I can't believe, you know what? God can't deny himself. Because he's in covenant with his son. He's in covenant with himself. Oh, come on, baby. Don't just stand with me. We're going to pray. Wake up your neighbor.
Pastor Judy said, wow, yes, and amen.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to that confession next, and I hope you, if you can lower the lights. I know you, let me say this. I've been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. The life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. What is this faith in him? That he is the fulfillment of the law. He is the fulfillment of all righteousness. If I am in him, no matter how imperfect I am, when God looks at me, he only sees his son.
That's it. Yes.
That's why we can come boldly before the throne room of grace. Not dragging our bag of sin, not walking with our head down. Because he's tired of us being that way. Because he purchased our freedom with the blood of his son.
Yes.
Why are we trampling it under feet like it doesn't exist?
Yep.
All right.
Amen.
One more. It's our confession before we sit on prayer. Father, pray for us that we'll get a revelation. And we'll get just an absolute jump start. That you made us to be the first, you were the firstborn among many brethren. And that, Lord, you have fashioned us and made us into your image, not by our own righteousness, not by our own works, not by everything we call on each other and on ourselves, but it's because of what you did. I can call you Father. I can call Jesus brother. And I can join heir with him over all creation. I pray that sink down in every soul. Give us boldness to live out loud. Give us boldness to not be afraid to make a mistake. Help us go wide open for you, Lord God. Give us that spring back in our step. Give us that joy in our heart, like was prophesied earlier. Lord, let us have the knowledge of knowing that you are tarrying, but not much longer. Yes. You're coming quickly. Yes. So let us live our lives on purpose, because it's the only one we got. In Jesus' name. I want you to look up. I want you to say this out loud with me. And then say it like we mean it. Okay? You ready? I am called. I am gifted. I am anointed. I am sent. I am in covenant with God through the blood and joined with his Holy Spirit. I am free from sin and delivered from every adversary. I am a child of God, and I am led by the Holy Spirit. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the grave now makes my mortal body alive. Though my outward man is perishing, my inward man is being renewed day by day. The works that Jesus did, I will